Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, Almost Home Creates. Today I am going to show you my first attempt at a pour with Alumilite white resin dye to help with my alcohol ink blooms. And I'm just going to show you the mistakes I made this first time and my second pour and how much better it was, and some of the mistakes were fixed. There's still some things I need to work on, but I'm just going to kind of go over that. Now, at this point, I've just filled my coasters about halfway filled with resin, and then I start with my alcohol inks and letting them sit in the coasters. And I picked red for the center, yellows for the outside, and I just kind of let them spread for a little bit to see what they're going to do. I was not thrilled with how they spread, so I missed this part, but I took a plastic stick and I basically swirled it a little bit to give it a better look in my mind. I just liked how it looked with the swirl a little bit better. And I immediately went in and used my white to do the little circle. And this is where I ran into the problem. Because I am not using fast set resin, you actually are going to have to let it sit for longer so that the resin starts to get a little bit firmer before you actually start to do this. Or what's going to happen is your white is going to take over, spread, and blob to the bottom just like mine does. The thing I did love about it is that the colors really were nice. It's just they all went to the bottom instead of staying somewhat blended, so the bottom's gonna look all white. But this is the basic thing that I did, and then I went through and I took my sticks and I started to make the flower design. And again, I missed a little bit of the recording, and I'm just going in with my plastic sticks and basically making a flower shape. And the other thing I did here is I went all the way to the center, and I should not have done that. I should have left a bigger portion in the center because I just like how it looks when it's not so filled up in the center. So as you notice, I'm going with inward swipes for the first set, and then I went with the outward swipes for the second set until I've basically got the entire coaster done. And at that point, I'm going to let it sit overnight and see how it turns out. And I will show you what happened after this point. There's a couple of shots here, and it just seemed like it was going so well and like it was going to just look perfect. But as you see when I'm unmolding it, all of the white has dropped to the bottom, and it's incredibly difficult to see the red unless you're looking at the top. At this point, I'm going to start pouring my second coaster, and I'm going to go ahead and just fill my coaster about halfway through again and start adding my alcohol inks. I'm going to use the same colors, and it is at this point that I realized I used a slightly different pattern this time with these colors. So I'm also going to show you the one with the blues that I used my cinnamon swirl design in. But overall, this yellow and red one has been my favorite, so I just want to show you this process. I think this second set would have been better if I'd let it sit for a little bit less time than I did. My goal was to let them sit for about 45 minutes to warm up, and I got distracted and it ended up being about an hour, and I think that's the reason they did not get quite as much white spreading it as I would have liked, but at the same time, it was so much better to not have too much white spreading like I did the first time. Here's what it looks like after sitting for about an hour, and like I said, I should have let it sit for a little less time, but I got distracted, so here we are, and I ended up doing a petal pattern with these colors this time, just because I wasn't really thinking about the exact same patterns. And in the end, I think I like the petal patterns the best, so I'm going to try this one again and make sure that I don't let my resin sit quite as long this next time. Maybe I'll actually go out and buy a thermometer so I can temp it, because I know that's the best thing to do. But I will show you as I finish putting the petals in. I did them pretty small and tried to make them a little bit bigger as I went out. And then when I get done with this process, I'm going to use my plastic and the little stick, the plastic stick, and start to pull the petals in towards the center again. So I'm basically just pulling the top layers as much as I can to get it pulled through to the center. And if you see, I am not going as deep into the center this time. I'm just trying to drag those white petals down towards the center, and then I'm wiping off my stick if there's too much. And I will just keep doing this until I'm happy with how many of the little pull downs I have, until I feel like it looks right. In the background, you can see the blue one that started with the cinnamon swirl design as well. And at this point, I'm happy with them, and now I'm going to show you what they look like after sitting overnight. There's the yellow one and the blue one, and overall, they just look so much better. The white has not overtaken it. I think that the white could have gone farther with the blue, but still so much better than my first attempt. And I'm going to back them with glitter. I think I used two different kinds of glitter in it, and that is what I'm backing them both with. I did not want to use just a solid color, and after I was done, I think I would have liked a solid color better, but it's all about experimenting and trying to decide what I do like. So I just put glitter on both of them and let them sit overnight, and I will show you what they turned out like. And first I'm going to show you the yellow one. And this is what it looks like after I unmold it. Overall, I'm really thrilled with the colors. You can still see the reds, the yellows, the whites spread very nicely. I like the way it's feathered, sort of. And while I don't dislike the glitter, I think I might like it better with a solid color. But overall, I'm just so happy with how this one turned out in comparison to the first one, especially. So I'm going to also show you the blue one with the swirl pattern, and you can see it did not spread as much as it could have, and that's okay. I'm going to try again, and I'm also going to link below the different resins that I used for these projects. Feel free to check them out, and thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked, please hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks.